Hi, it's Todd of Todd's Workshop and Todd Cutler here, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the A479 German Longsword from the Wallace Collection. And in the interest of full disclosure, I have to say this is one of my favourite objects of all time, period, end. Okay, love it. So here it is. Now this is, frankly, a magnificent sword. And I'm talking about the sword, the original, the design, the layout, the look. I like to think my reproduction's nicely done, but when I use the word magnificent, I'm not blowing smoke up my own bum. You know, I'm just saying the way it is. There is a great video that myself and Toby Capwell did where I made one of these a couple of years ago and I took it back into the Wallace Collection and we compared the original and my one side by side, and Toby and I chatted about it, and there's a link to that video here. And that was interesting. I've made another one. I'll just gibber a little bit about this one. Slightly different to the original. So the first thing you need to know about this sword is it's got a really broad blade. It's about 3 inches, 75 mil. 32 inches, 80 centimetre long blade. It looks like a tank. It's 10 mil thick, 3/8 of an inch thick at the hilt. You know, this thing looks heavy. It looks unwieldy. It's really not. I mean, it is just really comfortable and nice to use. Yes, it's a hand and a half. It's a short one, but it's a hand and a half. But really, it's a fantastic sword. It really is. Now, it's probably a composite. It was never made like this. So this blade, Toby thinks it's a little bit earlier, but he's not sure. Maybe 14th century or 15th century, but not the 16th century of the sword. But at some time, probably in the 18th, 19th century, this was put together as a composite of pieces. The hilt and the pommel may have gone together, may not. The grip itself on the original in the Wallace is cord, dyed black and waxed. I don't see that on other swords. Maybe they're out there, let me know. But again, it's quite uncommon. So you think maybe that's a 19th century edition. What was the original? We don't know. This one has been done with cord-bound leather and then a half-wire grip at the top there. You know, suited to swords of that period. And, you know, this is a Landsknecht weapon. I mean, if they didn't like bling, then you know, what did they like, really? So this needed to look like the business. So a bit of wire gripping there, that's fine. Massively hollow ground blade, that's fine. I'd like to say it's also raining a little bit. I'll wipe this, obviously, after. The scabbard itself, we have got poplar cord scabbard, leather over the top with some incised decoration, and then fabricated steel fittings. So these again have been done very bulbous, very loud in a modern sense, very bling. And again, that's what the Landsknecht are all about. It's about show, it's about money. It's about needing to be seen. And this sword does that. This sword is a statement. Now, as part of that, it's got the very popular heart motif that runs really for hundreds of years through the Middle Ages and into the Renaissance. It's not a feminine thing, as any Landsknecht soldier is going to tell you. It's just a nice symbol. It's a nice symbol that symbolises good things. It symbolises love, it symbolises happiness, fidelity, religion, spirituality. All of these things are embodied in the heart. And so it's a motif that is nothing to do with femininity. That is something that has come later to us. The sword itself, we've got a very heavily knurled pommel, which does make grip very good. But also it's just, again, it's just chunky decoration. The Landsknechts did like that. Little beast heads here, very simply done, almost like a very crude sort of poker type blacksmithing work. And in fact, actually, this hilt, if you look at the original in the museum, you'll see the whole hilt is incredibly crude, actually. It's really, in a modern context, really badly executed. It's almost like a tester piece that was given to an apprentice to do. So when I copied it, I had to try and mix and match between the purity and the cleanliness of what would be expected from modern reproduction, and the, frankly, absolutely appalling nature of the original piece in terms of quality. So I've tried to tread a middle line so that it still looks like a human has made it, not a CNC machine. And yeah, I like to think that I've achieved that. One thing that is to note, I mentioned earlier on right at the beginning that this thing was built like a tank, and it looks it, but it actually isn't. So the hollow ground has removed an awful lot of weight from the blade. And actually the weight of this in metric is 1.54 kilos. so 1.5 kilos, and that's about 3.3 pounds, so 3 1/3 pounds. So it's not the massive chunk of steel that it looks like it should be. And really, I just love it. I love the iconic nature of it. I love the fact that it's weirdly broad. We got a finger ring here. I kind of like the fact that the finger ring can't be used. You can't get your finger through it. I don't know, it's a decorative thing. It holds the guard here. Maybe it's nothing more than that. But anyway, the Wallace A479, reproduction by me with a half wire grip. I love it. I just love this sword. Thanks.